Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is entitled At Your Door. It was written by Ellen Eisenwill, Mark Morrison, Barbara Manui, Chris Adams, Scott D. Aniolowski, and Herbert Hike. Our recap will be given by Brian, and this is episode 6. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Brian?
All right, I better write this down so I don't forget any details. The farm expedition started like we would suspect. It was an empty farm. We didn't find anyone there. There's very little inside the farmhouse. There were some odd growths of moss, but that in and of itself wasn't too suspect. There was upon inspection of the barn, we found a very frightened cat that we couldn't coax out of its lofty abode. Looking into the greenhouse, Dr. Evans found a journal that had been eaten away partially by caterpillars, describing some of the procedures and happenstances going on at the farm before our missing person purchased it. Upon pruning a lot of the growth in the greenhouse, Dr. Evans claimed that the plants were tracking her. I didn't see any of this happening, but later events caused me to not doubt her as much as I did. When we started walking across the field with the rows of almost random vegetables planted in concentric circles, we were attacked by some sort of creature, entity, thing. It seemed to be moving from plant to plant and controlling them. A number of us got whipped rather viciously by controlled tomato plants. After escaping the field and the grass onto the gravel, we considered leaving immediately. But right before we left, we noticed strange red flowers. Upon closer inspection, we found that the red flowers were growing out of recently and not so recently deceased animals. We then saw that it wasn't a scarecrow, as we originally thought, standing in the wheat field, rather a corpse. As we were leaving, we noticed that the creature had possessed the flower-ridden corpse of possibly the missing boy from the town, and despite turning around and driving at breakneck speed, we were unable to stop the thing from escaping the farm, and it's now infesting the national park proper. I really hope we didn't screw up too bad.
All right. So you are on the road back to San Damiel. Did you want to do anything in Delilah, or just skip it and go all the way back? It's a long drive.
I personally don't want to stop in Delilah. I don't want to be seen again there.
I'm just giving you the opportunity if you need.
I'm saying to the other guys in the car.
Yeah, I agree with that. We got all the hair washed off the front, right?
Right, as long as we can clean the grill up before we hit a major highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking a garden hose to it.
Do we want to find a phone though and contact Jadek as soon as possible so we can get some people out here to find that thing?
Yeah, let's stop at the first rest stop and call him.
Okay.
I really don't want to be seen in that town again, you know?
I don't know how specific we want to be about what we just saw over the phone either. Because, you know, we're going to see crazy people.
Mm. Well, they already know what we have in the observation labs, so...
It's true. We've already entered crazy territory.
Very much so.
Well, and there's really not really much of a place to stop on the way back. So we'll just say that you drive for an hour and a half and you get back onto the outskirts of Delilah. You have your air conditioning on because it's hot outside. Despite the air conditioning, the humidity is also up, so it's sticky, even if it's cool enough inside the car. Where are you going to head to? We'll say that it's about 6 p.m. as you're arriving back.
Well, we should at least have reports waiting for us in the lab if our assistants are gone. So I would think we should, if we don't need a meal first, we should go straight to the lab.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's go. I'll swing by the lab and take a look. I don't know if I could hold a meal down right now anyway after that.
Right, and then from the lab we can call Jadek.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you arrive back at the lab at Zimbotech. Most of the people are gone. The guards, of course, recognize you and let you in. You get back to your office, and there are a number of messages that are waiting for you. In almost every case, the information found so far is completely inconclusive. That they're not able to. They're not able to make hydrogen. They still can't even classify it as an animal or a plant or a fungus or what exactly it is. It seems to be bizarre.
Was there any report on the attempt to put it in a maze and see if there's any indication of how it follows life forms around?
Well, I believe that was something that you just suggested. That sort of thing hasn't been set up yet. That'll take a few days to set up. It's Friday night, I believe, currently.
And was a tissue sample procured?
They did manage to get something off of it, and they've been looking at it and trying to analyze it, and they need to do further studies because nothing's making any sense.
And it's eating its ground beef and insect larvae?
It's gained very slightly some weight.
How's the green slime problem?
I wonder if my tranq rifle... I'm sorry.
It's still producing it. Its chemical composition constantly is changing.
Has it vented out any other unusual gases? I was wondering if my tranq rifle arrived.
Yeah, you like I say, this was an animal testing facility, so there's already there are tranks here.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's once again the actual chemical composition of its outgassings are changing.
It is changing. Okay.
If we can figure out what input makes it generate gold, well, Wilderness is not going to have to worry about funding ever again.
Yeah. While they're looking through the reports, I'm actually going to try and find the local news. I want to see the weather and see if like they're commenting on this weather being way out of norm anomaly.
Okay, well, we'll say there's that the guards, the security guards, actually have a little TV in their station, so that they can sit there and watch it while they're bored all night long.
Yeah.
Basically, you get information that yes, San Daniel is experiencing a really bad heat wave. It is unusual. There's evidence that this heat wave has been building up for a long time. Usually they don't last more than a week, but this one's been going for quite a while. You also notice that possibly because of the heat, that muggings and kidnappings and murders are also on the rise. There was a baby taken from its stroller right in front of its mother when her back was turned for just a moment. No ransom demands yet. It doesn't look very good.
Well, heat
The
and violence
shelters are packed.
Huh. That goes hand in hand with any major heat wave in any major city. That's not too unusual. I put in a request for any and all information on one Harold Gall. Has there been any?
Nothing's come back yet.
Okay. I think that's definitely somebody that we need to go and seek out in person.
You do have his address, I believe.
I believe we did.
Yeah.
And phone number.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, when we get, I asked the guards, hey, what time do the libraries close around here?
I think the libraries are open till 8.
Till 8? Okay. Yeah. Thanks. You guys need anything?
Not that I know of.
All right. Good.
What do you have in mind, Dr. Mills?
Well, before today, I would have thought I was just being paranoid, but I'm thinking I'm going to go swing by the library and check the newspaper and see if they back issues and see if this heat wave somewhat corresponds to when we believe this creature and event started happening, because I might be just chasing my tail, but I'm just trying to think of some other unusual things that are occurring, and the weather. I mean, I haven't had this kind of humidity ever.
Our tour of Don Biazine is coming up on the following Tuesday. Is that right?
It's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any correlation we could find between events might help us figure out what's going on. But if this thing was made in a lab at Don Biazine, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But we have a decent idea when it would have left the lab. So, just looking for some correlation. I know that doesn't necessarily mean causation. It could just be a freak weather pressure coming through. But
was there any indication in Peter Tate's diary of how long he was aware of these things before he decided to take action? I don't remember anything.
let me pull it out because he did have a comment about he snuck into the lab and he said, "Oh, the things that I saw there." I'll get you the date in a second.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
Yeah, everything is dated.
Now we have that Hades retreat down on Pan's Wash where the God's Lost Children could be found.
Right, and we could also go down to that gym to try to locate the other Dom Biozyme experiment.
Right, but being that she hadn't been seen for a while, we have her friend Noelle Rand on 115 Answer Road.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think that's a better shot.
Noel.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe that the girl might be gone, but
Yeah.
any documents that she might have or journals of her experience.
I think we might want to arrange for some security through JDIC before we go to the Hades. Because the last time we met that biker gang, we were rather outmatched physically.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Now we have Harold Gall down on Beach Road.
Okay.
Be interested in knowing what he has to say about what he left behind when he sold his farm.
I think he might be the most crucial key right now, being that that thing is in the national forest. I think we might need to speak with him, get something out of him. Maybe he has to know what that is.
Yeah, so I got the dates here for you. So he broke into that warehouse on July 23rd, and on July 26th is when he said he sent it to JTIC. So. But yeah, I think the goal is probably the most pressing one. I got to agree with Dr. Carlisle there.
As far as it being hot in July and August, I mean, it's hot. It's California.
And you know, they
not this. Oh, sorry.
A few years ago in '88, somebody suggested that carbon monoxide emissions were going to cause the temperature to rise steadily.
I read some studies on that. There's no significant proof yet.
All right. Well, did we want to wait till tomorrow to visit Gall, or are we going to try and catch him this evening?
I think we should catch him while he's home in bed. And
it's only 6.
Yeah, if he's in bed at 6, then...
Well, by the time we get organized and get out there, it'll be, maybe we'll catch him in the middle of his dinner.
The summer in California right now, there's another 3 hours of sunlight.
Yeah, dinner's a possibility, though. Now, do I remember correctly, he answered his phone but hung up?
Yeah, he said the property's not, it's already been sold off.
Right. Right. Yeah, so we might catch him at home.
Is maybe one of the ladies can call and just ask for some made-up name to ensure that he is at that place at his house. Like, this phone number we're assuming is his home. If they call and he picks up, we know he's there. If it rings, we're going to go for, it might be a wild goose chase. I was just suggesting one of the ladies, and she could ask for Mildred, her friend. Oh, sorry, wrong number. Click.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll
One
go.
of what ladies?
I'm sorry?
Me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget some of you are ladies.
I know. Should work on my voice. I took steroids, so I got a deep voice. So yeah. I'll go. I'll go dial up that number.
All right. Phone rings maybe 4 times, and there's an answer. Yeah, who is this?
Oh, hey, this is Edith. I was wondering, is Jen there?
You got the wrong fucking number. Slam.
Oh. I give a thumbs up over to Dr. Carlisle. Yeah, he's there, and Delilah described him well.
How many people? I mean, well, I guess we're going to hop in the truck and drive over there. I don't know if all 5 of us should march up to his door in a phalanx, though.
Oh, I don't think so either, but we should be there in case something weird happens.
Yeah.
No,
There any
drive around
pretense? I wonder if there's any pretense we could get him to talk to us in a context where he thinks he has something to gain.
Perhaps if we stop by Full Wilderness, we can tell Jadic what has occurred, and then we could also see if we can get a representative from Full Wilderness to come with us as the guise of trying to get Gall to do some research for Full Wilderness or something. Like maybe front it as a job opportunity.
Yeah.
Might get us at the door.
Well, for that matter, we don't need somebody else. We can just say we're representing Full Wilderness.
Well, that's true.
Let me interject. Your recap kind of represents your communication with what's his name,
Robert.
Oh, the assistant.
Oh, our contact.
right? And then his response is always, "I'll talk to Jadic, and we'll have a response."
Okay, as long as Jadic knows the white globule friend is running around in the forest, we're okay.
Yeah.
Not really okay, but you know.
I agree with Dr. Desmond. He doesn't know any of us, so any of us could be from Full Wilderness and just
We're in
grab
the
a
employ
couple
of Full Wilderness legitimately.
You are, yeah.
And
Grab
we
some
do
pep-
want to know about his research, legitimately. Because his research is really dangerous.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty good story and one we could easily stick to.
All right. So then you guys get into your SUVs, and
Now, Dr. Liege, I don't think you should drive this time. I think you're driving for today, Don.
I'll drive.
Done driving for today.
I'm going to bring that little case, long case with the trank rifle, and throw it in the back of the SUV so it's with us.
okay. So you're driving across San Damiel, and you get to an area that at one point it might have been actual beachfront area, but since then developers have bought up all the land between there and the beach and have put in more stuff. So now it's kind of in a rundown neighborhood, little ways inland. The houses are not in good repair. The lawns are brown. You notice areas where there is there's garbage. I would like, who's driving? Dr. Ethan, do a spot hidden for me.
25 out of 50.
Okay. As you're driving, you suddenly swerve because you notice that the manhole cover in the middle of the street is askewed. It's like that. Harold Gall's house is a 2-story house. There's a small yard, but the yard is it's just weeds and grass. There's no car in the parking, the parking space. But the house does have lights on inside as you pull up. You can see them through the window.
What I'm going to do is slow down and drive past, tell everybody to take a look out the window, and circle the block. I don't want to pull up and stop in front of his house.
Okay.
And should we draw straws? How are we going to decide?
I knew the conversation was coming, so I don't want to sit in front of his place if he's one of those nosy. Who's willing? Who wants to go? Who's good with people?
I am not charming or persuasive.
I have a slight. I have a 40 persuade, 30 charm. So
Same boat.
I'm not great, but I'm not
I
like.
can be persuasive when I need to.
I'm better with animals than I am with people. So But I'll go. I have no problem.
So we're a bunch of socially awkward nerds.
That would appear to be the case.
I'm trying to imagine the conversation in real life where you describe yourself as 40% persuasive and 28% charming.
Well, I mean, we might actually be the kind of people to put new numbers on, that sort of thing.
That's right. That's part of the spectrum.
Well, people say I have a nice smile, and when given enough time, I can generally convince people to my way of thinking. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, that's an argument. And also, I think sending at least one of the lady doctors is a good idea in terms of human psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
So, Dr.
Well,
Evans,
there's a cracked cement walkway going up to the front door, which is up a couple of steps.
Is the house on a corner? Is it in the middle? If I park on the side, would I be able to see the back door? Or,
It's kind of in the middle. And it doesn't look like there's much of a backyard, just sort of almost a condo-sized backyard, not much to it at all. But it's not a condo. It's not abutted up against the houses around it.
Okay.
You can see, too, that the stucco is cracked. You can even see a couple of places on corners where the chicken wire is showing through.
All right. Thank you. Sorry.
All right. So you walk up to the front door. You can hear what sounds like a television inside. It's not very loud, but you can hear it going inside.
Which ones of us went?
I
So
think Dr.
I
Evans
went.
and I.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Who's gonna knock?
I'll knock.
All right. At first, you don't hear anything, and then you hear obviously footsteps coming towards the door, and you hear the latch unlatch, and the door opens up, and standing there is this rather insane-looking little man. He's dressed in kind of blue denim. He obviously has smears of something on his shirt, and he has a kind of a crazed look in his eye. And he says, "Yeah, what do you want? Who the hell are you?"
Mr. Gall, we're with the Full Wilderness Organization.
Full Wilderness. A bunch of crackpots.
We would
What
like
do
to
you
speak
want?
with you about your research.
I don't want to give you any kind of my research. You want to talk to me about my research?
Yes.
I doubt that you can understand my research.
Try me.
All right. And he turns around and just walks back inside, leaving the door open. He says, "So, you're from those crackpots at the Full Wilderness place. Think they're going to save the world." He says, "What are they going to save them from? That's the big question. I got my plans. What do you think the problems are in the world?" And he walks over into his kitchen, and he pops open the fridge, and he pulls out a beer, and he pops the top and starts drinking it. The place is a mess, needless to say.
I assumed so from his mug.
What do you think is the problem in this world? The problem, what do you think the problem is here in San Damiano? It's also hot.
That certainly is causing issues. I think in general, though, the problem is a lack of understanding.
A lack of understanding. The problem is the goddamn sewer people.
Really?
Yeah, the sewer people. That's the problem. The problem is that they're homeless, that they've turned their backs on society, they live in the fucking sewers, and that they're going to come up one day and take us all over. They blind their children so that they can live in the dark. They're completely fucking a problem. And I'm going to be the one to do something about it. Because nobody else will.
I'm almost drawing blood from the inside of my cheek, trying not to just lose it at this guy. So, one of our associates inherited your old farm, and we've been hearing some strange things about that.
The
Did you hear
farm?
about that?
I sold the fucking farm. I don't need the fucking farm. The farm, I'm fucking done with plants. Just completely done with them. I did everything I could in that direction. Now I'm working with animals.
But as far as this animal research, what is it? Is it nature? Are you like training dogs? Are you studying biology?
Dogs aren't going to take care of the problem.
Well, enlighten me. What is this line of research?
You want to see my research? All right, fine. Come on. And he walks you to a back door, and there is a box with a keypad, and goes boop 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 boop. Do a spot hidden for me. Both of you can.
I succeed.
I failed with an 85.
Okay. Dr. Jonathan Liege, you see 36942.
I should write that down, shouldn't I?
And there's a moment, and then the door opens, and there is a definite sort of sound.
So it's pressurized.
And the door opens, and beyond that door is a complete contrast to what the rest of his house is like. This is a well-appointed lab. It's clean. It's neat. It's well-organized. There is, however, a rather putrid smell coming from inside. He casually walks inside expecting you to follow. There's, once again, sample jars and bottles and all sorts of things. There's equipment. And in the center of the room is a very large metal table with something completely draped in a tarp.
So I'm, as we're walking in, it goes Psycho, myself, Dr. Evans.
Yeah.
Order of operations.
And I'd like you both to look around and do a spot hidden for me.
Can I pass this time? I missed it by 2. 77.
I fail with a 69.
Okay.
I'll spend 2 points of luck.
Okay. You can do that. But I'm not going to tell you what it's for until later.
I still have one of those, dang it.
You do.
I've got 2 of them now.
All right. So he says, now what the biggest problem here is you've got those sewer people down there, and nobody knows where they are. So you need something that can go down there, can hunt them down, get rid of them, and the problem solved. All of our problems in San Damiel are completely taken care of once we get rid of this blight on human society.
When you said you were working on animals, I didn't realize you were a eugenicist.
A what?
A eugenicist.
What's a eugenicist?
Eugenics.
Oh, wiping something out? I don't know. You have to explain. I just don't know that word.
Cleaning up the gene pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Bene Gesserit from Dune.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
He says, well, somebody's got to do it. And he grabs hold of the tart and he flings it back. And what you see would make any taxidermist probably barf.
Oh,
What the hell?
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a Constitution check.
it's dead body, dead animals all stitched together. You can also see that there's a couple of barrels on the other side of the table that are pretty much filled with body organs and nastiness that he has discarded.
Well, I got an 01 on my Constitution check, so I think I'm doing okay.
Okay, how about you, Dr. Leash?
What is my constitution? 55. Oh, I got a 26. I'm fine.
Okay. Now, when I turn this baby loose, I haven't named it yet. I'm thinking maybe Lucy. Turn it loose, Lucy. Lucy. We'll call it Lucy. Yeah, Lucy's going to take care of all of our problems for us.
All right.
What do you think?
Well, it's rather macabre.
Macabre? Why do you say that it's macabre? You're
Well,
looking
look
at
it. It's gruesome.
Gruesome. Gruesome is it? My work is gruesome. Get the fuck out of my house. And he just starts immediately ushering you towards the door. Get the fuck out.
I'm just surprised. We've seen
fuck out.
your previous research, and it was just so clean.
He reaches for a drawer and he pulls out a gun. He's, get the fuck out of my house now. A bunch of frickin' hippy dippy. And he more or less pushes you out of the house. Now the rest of you in the car.
So as we're being forced out, listen, we just need your help, okay? With your last curation at the farm.
No. And he slams the door in your face. Don't ever come back, he yells at you.
Well, that went well.
Hey, Dr. Carlisle, they're coming out of the house.
Yeah, you guys see him chase them out with a gun in.
Oh.
We should sick the cops on him. That would at least be a very amusing police report to read.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
It's absolutely batshit.
Yeah, he thinks that there's people living down in the sewer who are causing all of our problems, and he's sewn a bunch of animal carcasses together to go hunt them down.
Well, that big swerve I made when we were coming here was to avoid a manhole cover that was left open.
I wonder if he's going to look for him himself, or maybe he's put some other kind of weird Frankenstein monster thing down there.
But that thing on the table was dead.
It was dead.
Animal
There's no
carcasses. You're
Animal
talking
carcasses.
about a bunch of what?
He took a
not a
bunch of
living thing.
animal carcasses and sewed them together.
So imagine if I took the head of a crocodile, attached it to a dog that was attached to a cat, that was attached to a bear, that was attached to another bear.
Wait,
This
so
is the kind of things that we're talking about.
the genius who discovered something that makes plants grow magnificently and also animate them thinks that a bunch of dead animals are going to take care of sewer people?
So what if, I don't know, he did not seem like this type of stable mind, especially if he's already curated something so clean, that little white globule to then transition into.
Well, maybe with those dead things, he was gonna. That white globule seemed to animate dead things.
No, it was animating the plants inside the dead things. He said he was done with plants.
Oh.
I could not see that person, the person that we met, creating anything that works. Obviously, something at the his experience at the farm must have broken him.
So he really seems quite crazy.
Person.
Yes, he definitely has appeared to have snapped. But I want to know what he saw that did that to him, if he was Because the people in Delilah said that he was not sociable, not that he was insane.
We need to get Jadek to find out who was paying him for research in Delilah. Because those people might have some documentation of whatever the hell he was doing when he was working for them. It might
And
give us a hint.
it would appear that he's still got some sort of funding. Because his lab was
That was pretty
subject.
significant.
Asinine. His lab was immaculate.
Now, maybe if we could get him out of the house. Well, I didn't see the code. Never mind. I don't know that we know the code.
I know the code.
Oh. Huh. Well, yeah, I mean, we could. Well, where would we put it up to where we could watch the house? This is a neighborhood. I mean,
Well, if...
Yeah.
I wonder if we could goad him into some sort of altercation.
That doesn't seem terribly hard.
Yeah, well,
He is exceedingly goadable.
Of course, I would
Well,
rather not have a bullet in my chest.
yeah,
True.
I was going to say, I saw him have that gun there. I don't know if I want to antagonize that.
Also, if he's not working with plants anymore, he's just sewing animals together. Did you say crocodile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were crocodile parts.
There was a bit of everything.
I
Was
mean,
there
there
a
might
bear
not be
head?
anything of interest in his research at this point.
I don't know.
Well, maybe he has money saved up. Who knows
He
who
did
was...
sell the farm.
Yeah, he sold the farm. Who knows what kind of money he was making when he was doing his research.
Yeah, well, this neighborhood looks pretty inexpensive.
True.
Now, if he could do what he did with plants, with this animal creature that you describe, I don't even want to think about the repercussions.
I really don't.
I don't know, but I am curious what if he was doing anything down in the sewer. Do we bring any flashlights with us?
We believe we did.
Yeah, we brought
I'd
some
go
to
down
take.
there.
Yeah, we totally got those at the gas station.
Yeah, because we were going to take him to the farm just in case the power was out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does anybody want to take a quick look down there to see if he set anything up down there?
Down the sewer?
Down in the sewers, especially if you set up like maybe some monitoring equipment and we are looking at it, maybe that will get him to come out.
Yeah, let's see if we can find some blind sewer dwellers.
I mean,
Well,
Blind?
they're blind. We don't have to worry about our flashlights. We'll be good.
Well, unfortunately, I need to see. So
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
they
like,
won't see us. Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just after today and seeing some kind of
Oh,
monstrosity, I'm just a little out of it.
Yeah, it's
No.
been a weird few
5%.
days.
after seeing Dr. Desmond and a few of us actually get attacked by plants, I'm not putting anything past some sewed together taxidermy either.
Right, but the thing that attacked us, I keep going back. Like
That was
it had intelligence. It was small. It was robust. It knew what it was doing, and what he was doing in there did not seem like the type of
and
stable.
he didn't create life from what we could see on the farm. He must have found something.
Are you
Doctor,
guys still
what did
parked
he
in front of
say
his
was
house?
malevolent? Sorry.
No,
Are you guys
no.
still parked in front of his house?
We're down the street. We were never in front of his house because,
All right. Are you still in your car parked there?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
we're trying to decide whether to get back to the. And I'm curious also, whether we can park the truck in front of the sewer so that if somebody does go down, they can not get run over.
You start to notice a few hoodlum characters in the neighborhood that are on their porches kind of watching you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a nice SUV.
If I notice that, I'll drive away, but we can circle back around to get to a sewer.
Okay.
I think we need a better game plan for this.
Coming back in the daytime, it's still a down.
Well, I'm just concerned that he would pack up whatever is down there. I just wanted to take a quick look.
How far before his place was the sewer?
Oh, maybe 50, 60 feet.
Oh, so it's the same block. It's not.
Yeah, same block.
Yeah.
Every block has, yeah.
We could drive around and look for another one that's askew.
Where we haven't already been clocked as a bunch of clueless people with money.
Hmm.
Fair.
It's worth a try. I don't expect we're going to find much in the sewer anyway, but it is curious.
Yeah.
The connection between his, I guess, obsession, would you say?
Yeah.
It seemed obsessive.
Did he think there were sewer people in Delilah? What was he
No.
trying to solve with plants?
That's a good question.
Couldn't get anything out of him for that.
All I said, he's done with plants,
Done with plants.
which means he was working with plants at some point. He admitted
It
that.
was. Did he seem, when he said he was done with plants, did it seem like he was afraid of what he'd done?
No.
Weirder and weirder.
I don't know if he seemed lucid enough to be afraid.
Is it possible that we're dealing with three entirely different kinds of unnatural life, just coincidentally? Or is there some unifying...
So what if somebody rented his farm because he used to rent the land and let something get loose? What if, say, a Don Biozyme rented his land for farming and just left something there?
Morgan, do an idea roll.
44, that's going to be just a normal pass. So close to a hard, but not quite.
It's good. You suddenly stop talking, and it suddenly dawns on you that in the lab in Delilah and in his lab in there was a bottle on the shelf, a carboy. And now that you think about it, it might have actually said Don Biozyme on there. You didn't think about it before. This is the spot hidden. You didn't think about it before, but now it suddenly triggers.
He had Don Biozyme equipment. In both labs, there was Don Biozyme equipment.
What do you mean equipment? Like,
he had a bottle of something that was labeled Don Biozyme.
oh, so you think
he's tied to them somehow? I don't know why he would.
Yeah, maybe they made something there that he's
Right,
used.
they're a research company. They don't sell things.
Yeah, I mean, but he got it somehow, and that's what he's used.
They're funding his
this
research.
creature, this little white creature.
The thing that's left in the forest could be the cousin of the thing that Peter Taint sent.
Or a precursor.
Or a precursor, or another relation.
An initial try.
And all we know is that its creator considered it malevolent.
Should we try to introduce plants into our little creature's environment and see what it does?
You know, it's one more experiment to add to the list.
Yeah.
It can't hurt. Yeah. I suspect it's not going to eat them. I don't know if it'll inhabit them.
Well, just once again, behavioral things, just to see if it reacts at all. But
absolutely.
Whatever Don Biozyme is doing, it involves a woman who's grown an insane amount, the creature we have in our lab, and now I strongly believe that creature that has escaped off into the woods.
Yeah.
They're connected somehow. The plants grew really well. That moss seemed to grow really well. That lady grew really well.
Huh.
What are they up to?
don't know.
As we drive around, are there other manholes that are disrupted?
No.
All right. Ethan, do you want to crack out that trank gun so we can have a quick trip down the sewer?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but being that the local wildlife took notice of us, I wonder if the gun will be more useful as a deterrent above ground or below.
Maybe if just displayed on the way down, there'll be an impression made.
Yeah, because,
It
in
looks
the
pretty much
dark,
like a rifle, right?
exactly. In the dark at a distance, it'll pass for a rifle.
I mean, it's still only, 7 at the latest.
Yeah, 7
So
o'clock.
it's not, maybe the shadows are long, but it's not
Thinking
dark.
it's later. It looks like a rifle, though.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be,
We're not going to be down there long.
All right, we'll do.
you're not
let's
going to be
do
down
it.
there at all, Margaret.
We'll do this 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out.
Do an idea roll for me, guys.
35.
89.
100.
We are geniuses.
Well, Dr. Margaret's pretty much convinced that you could swim out to sea and find the pipe, swim back up. No. You're pretty much sure that the piping, that the sewers are laid out in San Damiel along the roads. So, I mean, because they're right in the middle. So anywhere along here, even a couple, 300 or 400 feet down the road, you could get in and work your way.
Yeah.
They're not going to be sewers like this. They're going to be sewers like this. So it's not like you can get lost.
It's California, not Boston.
Right.
So why don't we drive back to a semi-safe location, and then we'll go down into the sewer and check it out. That way, at least you don't have to worry about the local thugs jumping you from taking the car.
Sounds good. I think if we're out of sight, we're not going to take very long.
Right.
We're going to need a crowbar or something to pry up the manhole cover that's not already loose.
The jack, the jack from the...
Sure. The car jack will work.
Yeah. We could just use Heather's just raw strength, right?
That's right. Amen.
She didn't do steroids for nothing.
All right. So let's say you find yourself an area that you think is kind of safe. Because maybe there's like a 7-Eleven or something nearby. And as long as there's people, they're not going to bother your car. Who's going and who's going to stay with the car?
I'll go down.
Yeah, we sent them into the house of the crazy guy. I think we should take this chance.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll join you. Too.
Yeah,
so you have to kind of run out into the middle of the street to get to the sewer. However, there's not much traffic right now. So,
Okay.
Is this a two-way street or a one-way?
it's a two-way street.
And is the manhole right in the middle of the street, or is it on the left or the right?
It's pretty much dead center in the middle of the street.
We can still park and put the hazard lights on, though, and then, drivers will be attentive.
Right. All right. So it's just it's Dr. Ethan and Dr. Flores.
Dr. Mills wanted to come down as well, it seems.
Yep, I'll join.
Okay. Who's going first?
I'll go. Oh, you can go. Be my guest.
You have the trank, so you have to. It's going to be harder for you to use the ladder.
All right.
I'll get in first with a flashlight.
When you pry up the manhole, almost immediately cockroaches come out from around the manhole. They skitter. They're big. California cockroaches are not like Texas cockroaches, but they still get pretty big.
And it's warm.
And it's warm and it's humid. The smell from down below, it doesn't smell like there's much because this is probably water drainage. It's not sewage. You can see that there is a ladder going down, maybe about 15 feet. I don't know anything about sewers, but we'll say 15 feet. And that you can see a trickle of water running in the middle down below.
I'm gonna call out to them. Just when you get by where he was doing stuff, if you can capture some kind of living organism, we can take it back. I just want to see if there might be any traces of chemicals that are present in our caterpillars that might be similar to creatures that maybe he's working with. Just a thought.
Yeah, I've got my plastic sample containers
All
in
right.
that shoulder bag or whatever.
Now,
Yeah, I go down. I flash the light around and I stamp a lot to try to dislodge other vermin.
get the mice and the cockroaches.
Yeah.
When you get down to the bottom, you can see that the tunnel goes in both directions, but it's only about 4.5 feet high. So you're going to have to hunker down, and you don't have to crawl on your hands and knees, but you have to lean down. If you indeed want to go in the direction of the house.
Yeah, that's. And flashing a light around, of course, there's no light down there, whatever.
Right.
So I see, the reflection of light and the trickle of water.
Right.
And probably not even cobwebs, just growths.
There's a lot of moss. There's a lot of slime on the walls. There's moisture, so you can hear the sound of dripping. You can hear the sound of skittering, which is even more disturbing. But it's probably just cockroaches,
Right.
and baby rats. You see a couple of rather large wharf rats, which any of you who know anything about diseases know that they carry some pretty bad diseases.
I'm gonna try to tuck everything in that I can because I don't want insects down my back.
All right. So how far are you going to go? You're going to go all the way until you think you're near Gulls?
I mean, we went 2 blocks or so, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be kind of slow, stooped with a flashlight, but
Right.
at least there aren't going to be a lot of, it's not a maze. It's going to be pretty simple. So, I'm going to,
You
we're going
get
to see
to
if we can find the ladder that could be his.
Okay.
And there might be light coming down from that. In fact, there should be, since
It was a little skewed, yeah. Well, that's in fact what happens. But now it takes you half an hour to get to where Gall's area is. And you're pretty sure that's what it is because you can see that the thing up there is skewed. However, you haven't really encountered anything but rats and cockroaches. And occasionally you hear noises, but you don't know what they are. They could actually be street people up above. It's just echoing down here. Cars going over manholes and stuff like that. But you're not sure.
And, and when I reach the ladder that has a crescent of light above it, there's not a little red beeping light over here saying,
Nothing.
this is my 1991 VHS recording device, or
Right. No, nothing like that.
or a big pile of decaying, sewn together animal corpses.
Or sewer people camped out.
Yeah.
Now, can I do a natural world to see if there's anything unnatural?
Sure.
Hold on. Yeah, 61 of 60. Failed by 1 point.
I'll try it as well.
Okay.
$22 for 60.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't know a lot about the specific ecology of sewers, but
Well, near Gauls, maybe not right where his house is, but you can see down one of the tunnels that there's something down there, something large, and you can't see clearly because it kind of glistens. It's got a kind of an off-white color to it, and it's laying in the sewer itself, in the thing.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna flash my light, and if it's at an intersection, probably all three of us could look at the same time. Like, did you see that? Is that what is that?
Yeah. About how far away from us could we estimate?
Maybe 30 or 40 feet.
All right. How big can we?
Well, when you first looked at it, it looks like it's at least maybe 2 feet high,
Mm.
and sort of laying in the middle of the.
I mean, it could just be a dead stray dog or something, but
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna
close enough that I think it. We have to.
search. I assume I have like some change. I was like, want to throw and blink it, see if it reacts.
Sure. Yeah, there's no reaction from it at all.
And there's no particular stench.
Actually, as you're approaching it, yeah, there's definitely the smell of something dead.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go check. I'm going to start walking down there to check it out. Margaret was wanting a sample, and here we go.
As you approach, you can see that it probably, in fact, is a dead dog.
Oh.
It looks like it may have wandered into the sewer system from farther down, and it's somewhat emaciated, so it's probably starved to death.
Has it? You know how a carcass kind of flattens?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And there are no red flowers on it.
No red flowers.
That's good. Yeah, I don't. I this doesn't seem like it's relevant. If we want to try to trap a little bit for Dr. Evans, I'm willing, but it might just be silly. What do you guys think?
I'd say we're already here. Let's just grab a little bit just in case. I don't want to walk down there here again.
Does it have a collar?
No.
Okay.
Dr. Heather, do a constitution roll. Actually, you can all do constitution rolls.
Pass.
Fail.
I failed by 1.
Well, Dr. Heather, how much did you fail by?
7.
That's not so bad. You're just all feeling really claustrophobic. It stinks. It's wet. It's hot. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm picturing like little plastic things that are kind of round, kind of
Sure.
put those.
You've also got to make your way back.
Yeah, I'm just going to pinch some of the hair off this dog, put it in the little thing, and go, let's get the fuck out of here. This is disgusting.
Yeah,
we can
do a
climb
double
up.
time.
We can climb up right where we were, listen to see if any cars are coming, and I'll jump up if you want. That way we don't have to go back through that whole thing.
Yeah, I support that. I mean,
I would like to put the manhole cover back on straight, for that matter.
Okay. All right. So we'll assume you do that. You're coming up now back over towards Skulls.
mm-hmm. But he hasn't seen us, so.
Do a spot hidden for me.
99. I'm worried about trying to conceal my gun somehow.
Yeah.
48 is a normal success.
Okay.
Fail.
Dr. Desmond, as you're climbing out, you notice a group of kids down the street that have spotted you guys climbing out, and they're all freaking out.
Right, because they've heard sewer people rumors from the
Yeah.
crazy new neighbor.
So you see some of them run into their houses, and
Ethan, just if you would do a casual barrel down inspection of your apparent firearm, we could hustle down 2 blocks away and hopefully get to the SUV before somebody decides that we're actually scary.
Let's just jog over there.
Yeah.
okay. So you manage to get back to the SUV, and you all get inside.
Well, we had a sewer tour. Dr. Evans, we have a small sample for you that's probably a dead stray. But people around here seem to think that we're really sewer people.
Well, I was just gonna say, you missed all of them after you guys went down there. They were gone for a minute. All the sewer people came up and ran, so you couldn't find them.
Yeah.
They were waited for you to walk off, and they all bolted.
So it's now about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty hungry.
Yeah, me too. Want to go back to the hotel?
I'll have a stiff drink before I try to eat any food after that dog.
I'm going to get a shower. I don't even want to put my hands in my mouth after.
So we'll assume you all go back then to your hotel. When you get to the plaza leading up to your hotel, there's entertainment going on. There's kind of in there's still some light in the sky. The sun has gone down. There's people sitting around. There's music playing. There's people enjoying the evening. And go inside, you go up. You're going to go up and change and get cleaned up. So that's what
Yeah.
Yep, I don't know about anything else. I'm going to the Scat Cat Lounge. Kind of growing on me.
Yeah, after the shower. Is there? Can we get dinner there, or just snacks?
I suppose you can get snacks there. There is a restaurant down in the bottom level, and a cafe.
I mean, I think maybe we.
I think I called it Pickman's Bistro.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
Yep.
So we maybe Pickman's, and then we'll go to the Scat Cat. What do you think?
That sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
The food of the Pickman is pretty good. So you have your lunch or your dinner, and then you head up to the Scat Cat. Okay, so now you're in the Scat Cat. What do you guys want to do? Looks like they've got somebody else tonight. They've got a piano player.
Okay.
Playing the piano.
So what's the plan for tomorrow? What are we going to go after? I don't think going back to Gaul will do us much good at the moment.
No.
He was calling us crackpots. I find that quite interesting.
Maybe Nicole Rand?
Noel, yeah,
Noel.
yeah. Maybe a little time at the lab, and then an after lunch call on Noel Rand. We don't know where she lives, right? So we can't expect to find her until.
Oh, we have her
An
address.
We have an address.
We don't know where she works, though, right?
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
I assume that she's out during the day.
Well, you also know that she was friends with Jenny, and that Jenny went to Thor's gym.
Who has the book of Tate's contact?
One of you does.
Yeah.
So I want to look for 2 names. One, I want to look for the friend Noel Rand,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if she's in there.
She is.
Okay.
She's in there, but there's no stars next to her.
No stars. And I also want to look for Norman Martinez, who's the detective over the case, his missing persons case.
He's not in there.
He's not? Okay. Just a thought.
Jenny's in there.
Jenny's in there.
And her address.
Her address?
Yeah.
Are there any other names that we recognize, like Slacks, our contact over
No.
Wilderness?
There was that Aaron Hetley property, wasn't there?
That was the one that Gall used to sell his property.
Wasn't there also another listing of the guy had a weird card, like a tarot card?
Yeah, some guy came out and gave him a tarot card.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's like the hangman or something. He was hanging upside down.
And who did that man say he was with? Was he a representative of Gaul?
Just a second, I'm reading the thing.
Oh, Le Pendu or something like that?
Yeah, that's the French name of that card.
Yeah, that's all we had for that, I believe.
Yeah, he got it from a tall, good-looking black guy. Mr. Hetley, Hettly. Mm-hmm. Huh.
But that was what he said his name was, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But he didn't say who he was representing.
Hang on. The agent of the former owner is what Mr. Hetley said he was. Yeah.
Of the former owner.
Yeah, Mr. Gall.
He never said Gaul, though.
No, he did not.
We assume that's what he meant, but the former owner of what? And then with Don Biozyme's involvement here, I wonder. And given the mental state of Gaul, I don't think he would be sending people back to go check up on his old property if he really wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's true.
The man said former owner. Maybe he didn't know. I don't know.
But it'd be in public record who owned that farm. So.
Well, Gall's got connections to Don Biozyme.
Right. So my concern would be that this man,
Don Biozyme employee,
that Tate didn't recognize, though. Tate was working there.
Yeah.
Might not have been lab personnel.
Well, just what an odd thing to hand somebody, right?
Very odd. Well, we have? Oh, dang it! We don't have an address for Hetley. I'm gonna go to the yellow pages and look up Aaron P. Hetley properties. See if there's a listing for that.
Wasn't that Jessica DeLone?
I think she was from a different agency.
Yeah, I think she was the one that Tate was using.
Yeah, there was Tate's agent, but whoever Gall listed his property through, maybe.
So yeah.
There is no listing in the yellow pages.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, probably. The white pages?
Yeah, there is none.
Okay.
How about the blue pages?
Phyllis?
Oh.
The purple pages.
Actually, there was another one. There were the white pages, which were people's phone numbers. There were the yellow pages, which was businesses. And wasn't there like
the
was blue.
They were
blue.
government. They were government.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Now, remind me here, there was a slip of paper that had a phone number on it, too.
Yeah, that was
Gall.
Gall.
That was Gall. Okay, just one.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to that guy.
It doesn't really say where he got it from, though, in his journal.
No, it doesn't.
He just had a number with his number.
In the do we know who Ed is? In the journal, after he gets the tarot card, he says that he should call Ed and let him know.
Ed's his brother.
His brother. Oh,
You met his brother.
Yeah, that's right.
His
Thank
friendly and helpful brother.
you. Hey, he was a nice guy. All right.
I mean, we haven't spoken to the police. We haven't gone for God's Lost Children. We did find 2 sets of keys. Were they for the farm, or did we figure out what that was?
We never had to
Yes.
use the keys. Were they for the farm?
Yeah, the second set was for the farm.
And then there
Okay.
was another set that was old. Was the old set for the farm?
That was for the farm.
Okay, and the new
Yeah.
set,
That's for his apartment.
his
and-
apartment. Okay, just wanted to eliminate that. Okay,
And you are
We had-
correct. You didn't have to use them on the farm. The farm was
right.
abandoned.
Wide open.
And we haven't had an intern go through the pleasantries of those VHS tapes, right? We watched the one and we just
Seen it in a while.
Want to subject them to that?
I'll fall on that grenade. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, we're making an assumption that that's what all of them are, but I
You
don't
keep
like.
calling your intern and say, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm working. I'm staying in the apartment and working."
So what I could see the leads are would be the police, the God's Lost Children, and that French, the Frenchman, the black Frenchman,
Yeah. We have no
And
idea.
Noel.
and Noel. Yes,
Noel.
correct.
And also,
Go ahead.
if we were, I've just tried to think in the mind of Tate. If we were trying to get away from Don Biosime and we did not feel safe at the farm because we learned probably from that creature or the combination of that creature and the tarot card kind of threat, and we drive back here and we wanted to disappear at that point, where would we go?
I think we're going to have to do some research into Tate's financial situation. His brother felt very strongly that he would kill himself, but if he's going to disappear, he's going to need money to do so.
Yeah.
And also, the damage to the car and what we saw at the farm does not leave me hopeful.
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't there money moved to an account?
There was.
some money shuffled around between different accounts. It's going to definitely take a little forensic accounting to figure out whether he was getting paid by somebody else or hiding money or laundering money or what. That's going to require attention and skill.
Right. And I guess another thing to consider that possibly a foul fate has befallen him is maybe he would have just won the Jadic. Right?
He seems to have a great deal of regard for Jadic, but I don't know. I'm not sure how you get from a violently assaulted vehicle in a park to a high-level executive without anybody noticing. And, Jadic wants us to investigate the matter, so.
That's true.
No, I do think forensic accounting on Peter Tate is going to be something that we need to find somebody to do if one of us isn't good at that kind of thing. I want to watch more of this horrible creature.
Yeah.
And I think if Jennifer is in some way involved in the same experimentation that Don Biosime has been behind. Dr. Evans, you said you saw material from Don Biosime at both labs. What was it?
Keeper, would I know enough to have a guess at what it was? Or to kind of just notice that it was
just a bottle.
It was a wait a minute. It was a bottle.
What size?
What size?
There's a carboy, like a big
Okay.
round.
So
5
Don
gallons.
Biozyme has an employee that grows really, really fast. Okay. We have evidence at the farm of plants growing really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he still has some of it, and he might be using it to grow parts for his whatever horrible monstrosity at his house really, really fast.
Were they unusually sized?
The animals were pretty
No.
big. No,
Not yet, at least.
no, not yet.
Yeah, but if it was that big, it wouldn't fit in the sewer.
Right. I don't think his mind was thinking everything clearly at that point. But that's a connection there, that Biozyme material.
Were the bottles full? What color was what in
I
them?
can't tell. I don't
You
know.
didn't really even think about the bottles.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you didn't really clearly see Dawn Biozyme written on them, but it's the combination of seeing part of a name and another part of a name in the same sort of bottle, and you're 90% sure that it's Dawn Biozyme. There was a lot of information, too, on the bottle.
Right. So Don Biozyme wants to test something. And so they get somebody who's presumably crazy to test it with. Because if he blabbers, everyone's going to go, whatever.
Well, except he seemed to think he was very much self-starting.
Well, he thinks that. How much that is the case.
Yeah, well, what you describe of his current experimentation doesn't sound like he's a genius that invented a new form of life, or two. How's the piano music?
Generic.
All right. Anything else for the night, or we want to meet back up in the morning? This whiskey's starting to kick in.
Well, we should definitely meet back up in the morning, but we should pick a line of inquiry that we want to follow.
I vote go talk to Noelle.
I'm the same, Heather.
Sounds good.
I just don't want to knock on her door at 8 in the morning when she's getting ready for work.
Right, and I liked your idea, Dr. Flores, that you mentioned earlier. We should spend some time in the morning at the lab with our little friend, and then go pay her a visit.
Could be at the gym in the morning if she's a gym rat.
Well, the gym was saying that he hadn't seen her for a bit either, right?
I don't think we asked really.
Yeah.
You just called the gym, so
Yeah. I just
Well, we had called the gym, and I remember Heather asked the guy if he had seen Noelle recently, so she get in touch with Noelle to get in touch with
yeah.
the girl. I can never remember her name.
Jennifer.
Jan, thank you.
Jennifer Armbruster.
Yep, I have it written down on the other page of notes. So okay.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to whether or not we can get the sample tissue from our little friend to grow. Because I suspect that since it doesn't seem to have any organs, that it can reproduce. Is that parthenogenetically?
Yeah.
It can split.
Spontaneous reproduction.
Yeah, which will tell us a lot about how many Dawn Biozyme might have.
Yes,
and what their risk is.
we can also look for some of those strange materials and strange cell structures in things like the caterpillar and those flowers that we.
Oh yeah, we actually have a lot of other stuff that we should put in the lab. We probably did actually when we stopped at the lab on the way back. We probably put all our samples in the fridges because we would just carry around tissue samples as we had sewer tours.
Let the caterpillars be free.
About that time, you see a hotel employee come into the Scat Cat, and he looks around for a moment and sees the five of you sitting there, and he walks up and he says, "Excuse me, is one of you Dr. Ethan Carlisle?"
That will be me.
You're part of the team that's working for Full Wilderness?
Correct.
I have a message for you. And he hands you a slip of paper.
I take it.
And it says, urgent, call Dr. What was his name? Dr. Leeds? At Zimvatech.
Morton Leam.
Leam, that's it, Leam. Call Dr. Morton Leam. There's been an accident, it says.
I relay the note to the gentleman, to everybody at the table, and I say, I think
I
we should
immediately run for a phone.
It's
Yeah.
about 8:30.
go to the.
Let's go to one of our rooms and use a phone there rather than a payphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so we go back
And
to
the messenger.
So you go downstairs. You go downstairs and you get on the phone. Hello, this is Dr. Leam.
Dr. Carlisle. There's an urgent message.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, there has been an accident at the lab. There has been a breach. Could you guys get over here ASAP?
On our way. Click and jump in.
All
Grab
right.
everybody. We just go.
So you get downstairs, you get to your SUV, you drive over to the lab. And when you get to the lab is lit up, and you can see a number of colleague scientists and so forth all over the place. There's a number of guards, and it looks like, just as you pull up, like there's something going on the back of the property of the compound that Zimvatech is on. And as you pull up, Dr. Lean comes out and he sees you, waves you over. He says, we have 3 people in the hospital. I don't know what to say. The creature is out.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Do we know around where it is?
Well, let me show you what we've got. And he brings you inside, and you go down the corridor to the room where it was contained, and you can see that they've sort of quarantined off the area. And the glass, where the on one side of the containment area looks like it's been melted. And there are large puddles of something on the floor that have actually eaten their way into the cement foundation. And directly on the other side, you can see a place where the wall has been melted. And right outside that, you can see the fence, and you can see the woods, and the fence itself looks like it's been melted. The area is quarantined off. Dr. Leam says it seems to have been able to produce some sort of acid. We think that it's something along the lines of fluoroantimonic acid.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, I'm sorry?
Oh, good Lord.
And that one of our security guards and one of our researchers actually came into contact with it when they found the breach, and they've both been hospitalized, but it doesn't look good.
So
even the slightest touch of this acid will pretty much kill you.
Dr.
Ripped.
Carlisle, do you have any insight into this? What kind of animal we were feeding it, like just adapts like this and escapes? What would its objective be?
If from what we've analyzed of some of the substances it was producing, all of the constituent parts to produce fluorantimonic acid are there, but they're there in all sorts of things. It's just somehow managed to create enough to eat its way right through the glass. It's one of the strongest acids known to mankind.
Well, if it can produce gold, it can produce anything.
Yes, we couldn't have anticipated this, but the thing has gotten out.
So is it moving toward the center of the population?
No, it's actually moving away from it.
So even though it responds aggressively toward living, moving things, it's trying to escape captivity as best we can tell.
We have 20 people armed with rifles that are attempting to see if they can track it into the woods.
What's a rifle going to do to a creature that has no organs?
We don't know.
I'm thinking more like flamethrower or rocket launcher. Although a rocket launcher might blow it into 1,000 pieces that all grew into new ones.
We don't know how to deal with this. It's a disaster.
Well, it definitely needs a kill, not capture word.
Preferentially.
This thing was biogenetically designed to be a weapon. I have no doubt in my mind now. We need to end this one way or another.
Have our masters at Full Wilderness been informed of this situation?
Yes, they have.
Is there press here?
No.
But there are civilian authorities.
We have called in our own people, and Full Wilderness have alerted security. There's no actual, like, the police aren't here.
Good. We're trying to keep it out of the government hands, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's going to be hard when we have inexplicable injuries and maybe fatalities in the
Possible
hospital.
2 deaths, yeah.
All the more reason to kill it.
No, this is interesting. The other creature wanted to escape off into the woods too.
Yeah.
It wasn't content to be where it was. That to me creates a stronger link between the two, in my mind.
It also means that I'm concerned about the fact that we have 2 full days before we see any part of Don Biozyme, because if they have other entities of this nature, and they become dissatisfied with ground beef and insects, then we could have, an unknown number of these things, which perhaps can produce any substance they need, given time.
Maybe, but if Don Biozyme has created these things, maybe they know a little more about how to contain them than we did.
Well, yeah, it doesn't seem like Peter Tate knew a whole lot.
I wonder if they're looking for each other. Are they aware of each other, the creature from the farm and this creature?
Right. And is our escapee moving toward Don Biozyme, or just into the woods?
Can we get is it leaving a definitive path? Like, no, right? It just used the acid to get out.
But yeah, it's, well, for one, it's dark out.
All right, it's finally dusk, more or less.
Well, by now it's dark. It's
Full
9
dark, okay.
o'clock. You've had dinner and everything. Yeah, Dr. Leem is beside himself. People are reporting to him that they're doing their best to see what they can find, but once it reaches the woods, they can't seem to track it.
So it's not leaving a trail of green slime or acid?
Well, not that they've been able to detect.
Right.
We might have to investigate that in the morning when we have some light.
Well, do you want to call it there? Is that a good spot?
Morgan had to go.
Morgan.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let's finish it. Our players included David Gasaway, Morgan Llewellyn, Brian Daly, Keith Craig, and Jason Melnichuk, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.